Welcome to a fantastically sunny Spain. We're here to drive the Porsche Panamera GTS. It's got more power, firmer suspension and some very nice options, so it's potentially the most Evo Panamera they make. So we're going to find out, hopefully, whether it's the pick of the Panamera range or a poor man's turbo. So what's this Panamera GTS all about? Well, you could say, on the face of it, it's just a pimped Panamera with big wheels and bright colour and a bit of Alcantara on the steering wheel. But Porsche are getting pretty good at this game. So you look back to a 997 GT3 and that was a very high spec car, but it was also fantastic to drive. So you have to take this car seriously. What I struggle with in turning a 4S into a GTS is essentially this car is a big, fast, comfortable car, 4 seats, big boot, and it's designed to do big distances. And in a sense, giving it a bit more power and more revs and a bit more torque and stiffer suspension and bigger brakes, it kind of, to me, before I've got in the car, I felt it strayed from what the Panamera should be about. And if all those sportier elements spoil the car's core qualities, then does it make it a pointless car? You've got 3 suspension settings, so you can still have the comfort, and yet when the road dictates a little bit more body control, you can slowly ramp up the stiffness in the car, and at that point you really begin to sense that it's got genuine abilities and sporting credentials. It's got 30 horsepower more and about 15 foot-pounds of torque and some additional revs, so it revs I think 400 RPM higher. It's also got a sports exhaust, which you can probably hear, and all that combines to give you a much more eager and, when you want it to be, a much more aggressive car to drive. The transmission is great. I think the suspension settings are very well judged, so you can find that balance between comfort and agility. Downsides, the steering's never been that great on a Panamera, and like a turbo, this car has a slightly kind of disconnected feel through the steering. The roads we've been driving on for the last couple of hours are fantastic, but if there's any problem with them, there may be a size too small to really start to push a car as big as the Panamera. Fortunately, we've got the Ascari Race Resort just around the corner. So obviously a racetrack isn't a natural environment for what is almost a 2-ton 4-seat Porsche. The way it changes direction and the way it stops, you'd think it's 300-400 kilos lighter than it is. In Sport Plus, the suspension drops another 5mm, so the car's 10mm lower than standard anyway, and then at high speed it comes down another 5mm. A few laps in, I'm so impressed. If there's a shortcoming to the GTS on the road, it's the typical lack of connection through the steering. It always feels a little bit light and a little bit disconnected, but on the track and nearly off the track, it doesn't matter so much because you're always driving to the limit of the tyres. So you can really focus on the balance of the car. It really does show Porsche's attention to detail in the way that they engineer a car that is very unlikely to go around a racetrack in a customer's hands, but should you choose to do so, I think it would be every bit as quick as an M5 or possibly even quicker. So what else do you get for your money with a GTS? Well, obviously you've got all the performance enhancements, but inside you get what is a really quite a cool interior actually. It's reminiscent again of a 997 GTS, so you get some Alcantara and contrast stitching and just nice wipers. No! You get wipers as well.